Հայոց ցեղասպանութեան 100-ին ամեակի ոգեկոչումը կազմակերպութեամբ Թորոնթոյի Հայ Դատի յանձնախումբին տեղի ունեցաւ Կիրակի Ապրիլ 21-ին Հայ Կեդրոնի սրահին մեջ։ Ներկայ գտնուեցան նահանգային եւ դաշնակցային ներկայացուցիչներ, ինչպէս նաեւ կուսակցութիւններու ներկայացուցիչներ։
This year, our commemoration falls under the shadow of a recent loss, the Republic of Artsakh. A century later, we witness the continuation of genocide as the world remains silent. However, in the spirit of Armenian identity, we took action. We demanded justice for Artsakh through a 44-day war that claimed almost 4,000 lives, many of whom were young like myself. We could not stand by as 120,000 residents and citizens of Artsakh faced isolation, imminent danger, and deprivation of basic needs. The greatest threat faced today by Armenians in the Republic of Armenia and beyond is that they are up against a state, the Republic of Azerbaijan, whose president is actively claiming Armenian territory as historically Azerbaijani, who has suggested that Armenians are not indigenous to the region, but rather recent immigrants, and who harbors clear genocidal Armenophobia, which he has made sure is deeply imbricated in all of Azerbaijan's institutions, including schools, think tanks, the military, and the press. Yet, an earlier chapter in the history of Armenians, the arrival and resettlement of the Georgetown Boys, survivors of the Armenian genocide, in Canada, symbolizes a significant humanitarian act and highlights Canada's historical commitment to providing refuge to those fleeing persecution.
Today, we pay tribute to the lives that were tragically taken. Today, we offer our heartfelt sympathies to their community members around the world. And today, as we remember a profoundly dark chapter of history, let us all vow to never allow such a tragedy to ever occur again. I'm honored to be provided the opportunity to share a few personal greetings and remarks of my own. Indeed, the word genocide was coined because of the mass murder of Armenians by the Ottomans, and when the Ottoman government attempted to consolidate Muslim Turkish dominance in the region by eliminating the Armenians. Our government respects and honors the memories of the Armenian diaspora in Canada and everywhere.
As the co-chair of the Canada-Armenia Parliamentary Friendship Group, I'm working closely with Ambassador Anahi Harutinia to foster our bilateral relations and support Armenia in its pursuit for peace and stability. These diplomatic efforts are crucial as they enhance our mutual interest and embody our shared values of democracy and human rights.
I am speaking at the commemoration of a genocide that each of us has experienced personally, and about which all of us have our own family histories. Additionally, I stand before you scant months following another genocidal action against our people, this time the proud Armenians of Artsakh. And worst of all, I am here at a time where there is every indication that yet another genocide, this time against the people of the Republic of Armenia, is imminent. How can I even attempt to give voice to our tortured history, our collective trauma, our legitimate fears? We must be powerful and unrelenting advocates for justice and the security and the self-determination of the Armenian people. Only in this way can we be deserving children of our martyred families and true brothers and sisters to our imperiled compatriots. To the friends of our community who are here with us today, elected officials, diplomats, government representatives, I say prepare yourselves to continue to hear our voice, the voice of the leaders of a new Armenia, advocating for the just resolution of the Armenian genocide, the reversal of the Artsakh genocide, and the prevention of any future genocide by the Azerbaijani dictatorship against the people of Armenia. Most importantly, I say to you, the first step in preventing another Armenian genocide is not to dismiss or minimize our voice, the voice of the new leaders of Armenia, when we present our concerns, but listen carefully and act accordingly. Unfortunately, our experience, as recently as since the last time we gathered here for April 24th, has taught us all too well the signs of an impending genocide. So when we tell you there's a genocide coming, very much unfortunately, but the truth is we know that a genocide is coming. And most importantly, I call upon you, the friends of the Armenian people, to use your position and your authority to take immediate action. Thank you very much.
The Premier really wanted to be here this afternoon, so he made it very clear to me that I am to read his remarks in their entirety verbatim, and I'll do that right now. Warm greetings to everyone solemnly marking the anniversary of Armenian genocide of 1915. Today, we remember the strength and bravery of the Armenian people and honor the memory of those who perished during this dark chapter in human history. Our thoughts are with you during this meaningful remembrance. The Honorable Premier Doug Ford. I think this is testament to how passionate the Armenian Canadian people are. Nobody more passionate, of course, than our colleague here, MPP Aris Babikian, who, thanks to his efforts, May is remembered in our province as Armenian Heritage Month.
Thank you very much for my colleagues from the PC caucus and the Government of Ontario. I am proud to be part of the Government of Ontario and Premier Doug Ford's team. Որովհետև իսկապես այսօր վերջին 6 տարվա ընթացքին Ontario-ի մեջ մենք կառավարություն ունենք ղեկավարությամբ վարչապետ Doug Ford-ին, որ իսկապես բարեկամ է, թաշնագից է հայ քաղաքին Ontario-ի մեջ եւ իր նախաձեռնությունները, իր աշխատանքները, իր նվիրումը Ontario-ի հայ ժողովրդին սահմանեն անտին կանցնի, խոսքերեն անտին կանցնի, կորձնական աջակցություն կներկայացնի Ontario-ի հայ քաղաքին։
I want to say and leave you with this. I'm proud to be one of only 34 countries in the world that recognizes the genocide. Too many countries don't. I'm proud to be standing with many members of provincial, federal, and other layers of government who are with you and stand with you and don't want history to continue to repeat itself. Because the Armenian community may be small on the world stage, but your diaspora is powerful. and we can all learn from you. So God bless the Armenian people. We stand with you.
Some of you may know that in my other line of work, I serve as an emergency physician and have been at the bedside of many people who've passed away. And each and every time that happens, I try to imagine the life that they led, the dreams, the ambitions, the hopes that sometimes die with them. Now, that's not always the case. Many times they have families to keep those things alive, to keep those aspirations moving. But what if there is a systematic attempt not just to extinguish a single individual, but to extinguish their families, their communities, their nationality? What if it's an attempt to extinguish all of those hopes and dreams and aspirations? And that's what was intended with the Armenian genocide.
This event pays tribute to the victims and valiant survivors who live to tell their stories in the hope that the history of the Armenian genocide will not be forgotten by future generations and will never again be repeated.
We know that between 1915 and 1923, 1.5 million Armenians were massacred. They first came for the intellectuals. They came for anyone who they saw as a threat. And then they went after as many innocent people as possible, and in many cases, marched them to their deaths. And today, we see more massacres and deportations in Artsakh. We see the threats to Armenia itself. And we cannot forget the past, and we cannot allow it to be repeated in the future. I was very proud as a school trustee on the Toronto District School Board to work with Trustee Gershon and my colleagues to ensure that the Armenian genocide would be part of the school curriculum, so that every child would learn about the truth, especially in a social media culture when too many others are telling lies.
We have the Forest of Hope. It's in Ashton Meadows Park, a corner of that park that commemorates the 100th anniversary of the Armenian genocide. Designed by internationally renowned Haig Serafian, a landscape architect, an Armenian landscape architect, who created a beautiful corner in that park with 100 trees of different species. As those trees continue to grow, as they are nurtured in our community, as the Armenian community nurtures its youth, in those trees, in those youth, we see a hope for the future, because we recognize the moments in history when humanity has let us down. But those trees, and so many within the Armenian community, also reflect the best of humanity, of coming together, treasuring the traditions and the cultures and the history of this community. And so it's with great pride that we have that Forest of Hope, and in the very near future, we hope to be making an announcement of a very special edition that will commemorate Canada's involvement in helping the Armenian community.
We are honored to be here today to commemorate this occasion on a day when we actually are all Armenian, because we feel in our soul the importance of continuing to educate against hate, which is our collective responsibility. We thank the Armenian community for being a partner with us on the genocide curriculum. And we thank the Armenian community for continuing to advocate that the genocide curriculum should be taught to all students in the province of Ontario. It's really, really important for all of us to be educated on the Armenian genocide, but it's also really important for all of us to be ambassadors and to get the message out to more people. So I was thinking that in the future it would be nice to have some people who are of Armenian descent who would be able to come out to our schools and to be ambassadors and to speak about the Armenian genocide on that day. So I was...
So when we think of this terrible tragedy over 100 years ago now, we still remember it. We will never forget, because each soul that's lost is a gift from God that's lost. The contributions they would have made, the love they would have shared with their family and their extended family. And it breaks my heart to think of the magnitude of the numbers, of the personal loss. God bless them, and thank you for having us here.
Ցերնարգի ավարտին մասնագետները ծաղիկներ զետեղեցին հայոց ցեղասպանութեան հուշարձանի առջև։